All right, welcome. Happy Monday morning, Move Fitness. We are excited to have you on for Chance's Coffee Conversations. I got a special guest with us today. Hopefully you guys are happy, well, doing good. I know that the governor has come out with an extended stay at home. That's okay. We're going to stay with you guys no matter what through this process. Our special guest today is Aaron Perry, aka the Professor. He's got a
Yo.
CS in exercise science, precision nutrition. He's been doing this for about 6 years now. He's fitness manager for us, extensive knowledge in meditation, mindfulness, and fitness. Originally from Boise, Idaho. And before we get into kind of these questions, how's your family doing over there in Idaho?
Oh, they're doing good. Same thing with us. Got that same order. They also just had an earthquake that happened. I think that was a couple days ago. So, yeah, they're a little bit shaken up. No pun intended. But overall, they're doing good. Able to talk with them, a couple times a day. So, same
That's
thing with us,
awesome.
just rolling through it. Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, I know a few years ago you got your mom a TRX. Are you watching her use that?
Well, at this point, I'm just kind of going with her word on it, and she says she's using it. She also has a home gym, so I'm gonna have to get on FaceTime and make sure she's actually doing
There
the
it
thing.
is. Okay, I am
So,
sorry, Aaron's mom, if I have caused you more workout pain.
oh, look what you started.
Well, good. Well, I'm gonna, fire off some questions to Aaron today. And again, you guys, this is hopefully you can get some nuggets of knowledge out of this. We're gonna be kind of bantering and being playful back and forth, and hopefully be able to give you guys some, again, extensive knowledge on kind of how to manage this isolation and being mindful and what we can do to help ourselves not only physically but mentally too as well. So my first question for Aaron is going to be, what are you grateful for today?
Oh, what am I grateful for today? It's funny you just said that. This is not prompted, but just got done filling out my journal, and there's so many more things that I think during these times of negativity that we truly don't understand the blessings that we still have. So, just being able to, for me, I'm lucky enough to have a garage gym. So this morning I got up 10 feet away and I got a good workout in. So, that was something I was truly grateful for, to be able to have that at my disposal. So that's a big one. My dog, Delta, she's currently not in here. She's a little fired up this morning, so I thought I'd keep her out of the video today. But my workout video, she seems to do fine. So, having her, and then just, being blessed to, have meals and have a roof over my head, especially again, during these isolations, it's just like, I'm blessed to be able to wake up and just, I still have all of my essentials that I need to survive. So.
Absolutely. One of mine is roof over my head, air in my lungs, and, the opportunity, to speak with you today, Aaron, via, this phone conference and video conference. Truly a blessing to be able to stay connected in these, uncertain times. And I think that's really important, and we check in with each other, pretty often. I know you alluded to, checking in with your parents, but who's somebody maybe today specifically you're going to check in on, and why?
Honestly, I'll probably just go back to family. So, usually during hard times, one person I really reach out to a lot is my grandma. She's someone who I can connect with really well, and our conversations just, it makes me feel at ease. And that's important too for, everyone else is throw that into your schedule, throughout your day, because we are creatures of habit, and we'll probably get into this later, but throw it in there and actually have it planned out for the day, because that's something that we're social beings and we need to have that interaction. So, probably once we get done with this conference call, I'll pick up the phone, give her a call. But yeah, that's someone I need to connect with a little bit more, and she's always there for me and supportive, and of course the rest of my family as well. So
Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. You have somebody who, you can reach out to and lean on, and not always looking for advice, but just somebody to communicate and talk with. And somebody I'll probably reach out today is one of my best friends, Melissa. She's got a daughter who she had a few years ago and has a heart condition. So I'll probably double check on her and make sure her and her family are doing well with the pandemic that we're in right now.
Yeah,
So,
that's good.
we kind of touched on, obviously connection and how important that is. And, I truly believe that, the wording that I don't know if it was the government or social media or whoever put it out there, might have been, really incorrect with, social distancing. I think, physical distancing, obviously, but we really need to stay socially connected,
Connected.
with, with people. And as you kind of alluded to, being, those creatures who need that, and, to be connected with other people. And especially, I mean, gosh, I know that you know this, but man, our move tribe, our move community, our move people, how important is it for, do you think it is to stay connected with people?
Well, I mean, it's important in many other ways. It's just that, same thing when you're at the physical gym. You mentioned some of our tribe members. One of the reasons why, we stay accountable towards our exercise goals is because we have this connection. So, still holding each other accountable for not only your physical goals and exercise, but hey, are you filling out your affirmations and your gratitude list, and having somebody, your accountability buddy, right, to keep you going is extremely important. Because if we're alone by ourselves and we get all these thoughts that go through our heads, and the last thing we can do, or the worst thing we could do, is not bring that to somebody else's attention to help us. So staying connected is going to be extremely important, especially these next 30-ish days.
Yeah, and I think people's ability to ask for help or reach out, and again, for no other reason than just to have somebody to talk to. Because I know, in a few homes, because of friends and family of mine, they're about tired of communicating with the same people every single day, and they just need variety. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to talk and have these coffee conversations, was to allow people to not only kind of maybe listen to different voices, and get some really good nuggets of knowledge out, that where people can kind of just take some things and go, ha, I knew that, but I haven't been doing it. And
Hmm.
yeah, I think it's really important that people, whether that be the workouts that we're doing, and you've done a fantastic job on Facebook, keeping people connected through that, with these conversations that I'm going to be having with fitness managers and fitness professionals, that we stay on that connection. And and some of the things we'll get into, which is the mind, and how do we connect our mind with what's going on outside of our own walls and our own homes. So
Hmm.
with that being said, we are definitely not in any state of normality right now. This is social, mind, physical kind of chaos. And for me, trying to let go of some of those normal things. But for you, there's expectations of normal, and I'll do that in air quotes. What are some things that you have to kind of let go of in these moments of isolation, and adopt maybe some new things as this time goes by?
Well, I feel that's a big question that I could dig a lot into. But when it comes to normalcy, I think, people kind of get normalcy mixed with, routine building and, habit building and being creatures of habit. And one thing we need to not let go of is that routine and that structure in our lives. And, I've been guilty of it in the last couple of weeks, just waking up. What am I going to do today? I don't know. I'm just going to wing it. And for me personally, I've got a schedule that I usually stick with. So, it's important that we stay with that, especially in these times. We can use this towards our advantage, towards developing a proper habit and routine. 90% of our lives are controlled through your subconscious and unconscious mindset. And
Yeah.
if we go the next 30 days just, playing video games and just wearing our pajamas all day and, doing these things that are good, right? It's good to have that. But if we start developing those bad habits, it takes 30 days to 90 days to develop a habit. After these 30 days, if we have started these negative routines,
Yeah.
it's going to be very difficult to dig ourselves back out of that. Once we do get out of this situation we're in, and once we do get out of it in 30 days, we're going to need to be at the pinnacle and be at our best. So in terms of letting go normalcy, again, that's a pretty broad question, but routine building and structure building is going to be a little bit different than what we had before. But little things like going to the grocery store and standing 6 feet away from someone, that's something we got to adapt to, and we got to create new habits with that. So
Mm-hmm. So expand on that a little bit more, because I think that maintaining a sense of routine is really important. And maybe talk us through your routine, and if you've set up a new one now that we are in isolation, if you're comfortable with it, tell us what that is,
yeah.
and why it's important for those at home who have they've created this great routine of coming to the gym, and then unfortunately it was ripped away. And how easy is it to go back to our what's easy to do is easy not to do, or the path of
Right.
least resistance. And we're only a couple weeks into it, but I think we've got 3 or 4 more weeks going forward of this. So tell us a little bit about your kind of routine and what you do, and then why it's important to sustain that.
Yeah. First thing that I normally do, and we got an example here, my daily greatness journal. First thing, whether we're in a crisis that we're in now, or if it's just normal life, I believe that we need to again dig into our subconscious, by bringing positive affirmations in the morning time. So I always fill out a gratitude list to get my mindset in the right direction, and fill out affirmations, so that way I can guide my subconscious in the direction in which I want it to go to. So I'll spend probably 10-15 minutes in the morning doing that. Then I'll go into meditation. So 5-10 minutes, and meditation can be whatever it is, whatever it is for you. You could be listening to music. You could be, for me, I just like to kind of sit on my bed and just allow my mind to kind of clear out and focus on the gratitude list I just wrote in those affirmations. From there, I've got kind of all my meals planned out. When am I going to eat? What times am I going to eat? That was something that in all honesty, I struggled with before this thing that we're in. So, one new habit that I want to get into is eating a little bit more consistently. So, every 4-ish hours, and I've always got a meal in front of me. So I even got an alarm set on my phone, so that way I know, hey, it's time to eat. From there, usually I'll get my workout in the morning time. Again, I'm blessed to have my garage 5 feet away from me, so I can just get up, go work out. And then another task that I'll set myself out to is, just picking 3 things that I need to accomplish for the day. For today, I just moved into a new place. So, one of my goals is to get, all my stuff organized where I want it to be. Have all of my other stuff out of the old house, kind of set it up how I want it to be. Another task for today, got it written out right here. We kind of already talked about it, but calling every single one of my family members, getting a conversation with them, and then just switching all. I just had my credit card compromised, so I'm gonna get all my new payments. Yeah, it's fine. But get all my bills, put onto the new credit card. But simple things like that. So I've got tasks. I got something that I can get completed for the day, and at the end, right, I'll be able to check those off, even though a lot of them are pretty simple tasks. I'm going to have that sense of accomplishment. So, at the end of the day, kind of same thing, the middle of the day is going to be random, whatever I've got planned. But at the end of the night, this is when you reevaluate, see, did I live up to my affirmations? Did I live up to those 3, tasks? And what can I do to improve? And, out of the new habits I'm trying to develop, again, during these next 30 days, because we have an opportunity to develop new habits. Am I on the right path? So I'll spend probably 5 to 10 minutes at night just reviewing how my day went and if I actually accomplished all my goals.
Yeah, and that's really interesting because I think sometimes in these moments, people will wake up and have nothing to do but think about their own thoughts and think about their own worries and worry about their worries and really not have a whole lot of intent or purpose for their day. And it sounds like, with you and myself included, I've done this for a while, and you actually turned me on to that journal, which I absolutely love it. If you could show it again, and
Yes.
if you don't mind.
I don't know if you can read it, but it's just a daily greatness journal and just a quick little overview. But first couple pages are kind of just writing out, your vision statement, your why, your purpose, what you want to accomplish over the next few months. And then, on a daily basis, it's got a layout kind of, I don't know if they'll be able to see that, but you've got affirmations, kind of all the things that I just explained before. And, you'll just review it at the end of the night. But, writing it down, and we'll go over this probably later, but, journaling is very, very important just to keep your thoughts organized, especially in these times.
Yeah, and I absolutely agree. And again, I love that journal because it guides people. Because sometimes when we have just a blank canvas or a blank piece of paper, it's like, okay, what do I write and what do I jot down? And maybe that's just my thoughts for the day, and maybe that's okay. And for this book, I think it does a really good job for, again, gratitude and appreciation. And what is my intent and purpose for today? What are some
Exactly.
goals and what are some things that I could do that will make me feel when I journal at the end of the night like I did something? And again, instead of, maybe right now some of our viewers are kind of thinking, yeah, I just kind of wake up and I stay in my pajamas and I get in my breakfast and I get in some Netflix and I get in some, maybe I go outside for a second and get the mail and then I go back inside. I'm not really sure everybody's routine, but then maybe again, and then all of a sudden you're binge watching something and it's dark outside and you're like, oh my gosh, what did I do all day? And I really love that journal. If you guys can, look it up, Daily Greatness. It's awesome for, again, giving you a little bit more of guidance on, kind of how to roll through each day, and then weekly progress checks. And it's really awesome. And again, let's kind of piggyback on that, because we're going to talk in a second on, how you've alluded to it, are able to stay physically fit and maybe keep your body moving during this times of isolation, but
Mm-hmm.
how important it is to keep your mind right, again, with the ability for us to just kind of go, well, this is negative on TV, on the news is negative, on, I lost my job, there's a negative, my bank account is getting more negative, and this spiral of negativity, kind of talk to us, maybe what are some things that you could give advice to, or what you do to kind of stay on the right track of positivity.
Mm-hmm. It's all of the things that we just mentioned, but like you said, we're in times where there are a lot of things that we can point to and be like, oh, that's a negative, that's a bad thing. But as soon as you start to put your focus on one thing, that's usually going to attract like-minded things. So if you see one negative, then all of a sudden, hey, there's another one over there. Hey, there's another one right there. And then you've just got a huge handful and a bucket full of negative things. So, one thing that, I teach a lot of my clients, and, I still teach this, is whenever you got a negative thought going through your head, you got to be consciously aware that you've got something negative going on. And then you need to think of 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for. And you'll notice a lot of times when that happens, when you're in that negative mindset, you're like, I'm not grateful for anything. I can't think of anything right now. And the reason for that is because you can't truly be negative and grateful at the same time. So, when you do have those bad thoughts, I lost my job, we're secluded for 30 days, 60 days, whatever it is, catch yourself at that moment and just be like, what am I grateful for? And, there's different tricks that you can use to help with that. One thing that I use is something called a gratitude rock. Chance, you can attest to
Yeah.
this. I've got this, on my computer at work, but that's something it just stands out. And you got a negative mindset. You just look at that, and then you're like, okay, that reminds me, I need to be grateful. Another trigger that I use is, on my phone every single morning. It goes off around 10 a.m. because that's usually when thoughts start going through my head. But it says, "Be the joy of the day." So that's just another trigger for me to look at all of the the blessings and positive things I've got going on in my life. Because if we go down this negative road,
Yeah.
it's going to lead to a lot of not just things mentally but physically as well. It's gonna lead us in the wrong direction.
Yeah. Well, and that's something that I want to kind of touch on to piggyback on or to echo what you're saying, which is what can we really control? We can't control that
Yeah.
the governor forced us to stay home. We can't control that we lost our jobs. Like we can't control that, but what can we control? I can control my mindset and what I think when I wake up. I can control what I do with my day. I can control that. I can go apply for another job if I lost my job, if you're out there and you have. I can control that. How can I save and not spend in this area to help me get by during these
Hmm.
times. So I think that's something that's really powerful that people forget about, which is our own thoughts and
Hmm.
what we say and what we do, and that's 100% in our control. And
Exactly.
that's a really good point, and I love that.
Yeah, a good
So
reference for kind of what. Sorry to cut you off there, but a good reference to look at is something called "The Circle of Influence" by Stephen Covey, and it basically just explains, where you put in your focus the most. And as Americans, we tend to put our focus on things that we can't control, and
mm,
again, that'll lead to more negativity. So
yeah.
look up it's called the Circle of Influence, and that'll really help you direct your mindset what you should be focusing on.
Yeah, and be aware for people out there, if you're having these negative thoughts, and Aaron kind of alluded to it earlier, which is like attracts like. And if you're having these negative thoughts and then you go to somebody who's equally negative, and then you're compiling all these negative friends surrounding you, and it's just squabble about negativity, it's like, well, we're not accomplishing anything. And where's that positive light? And that's the opportunity that I know Aaron shares with his circle of influence and all of his employees, and myself as well, is we have that opportunity to where we could be the positive light. And if
Hmm.
you're not ready to be the positive light yet, find somebody who is, and get on that wavelength, because that's going to help us all through the next 30 to 60 days of this
Oh yeah.
craziness. So let's talk a little bit about let's get into you on maybe your nutrition and how you're able to. I know you said
Hmm.
you've got your gym right downstairs that you created. So talk us through how are you able to stay kind of on your nutrition and on your diet plans and what you're able to do, and
Hmm.
also how are you able to move every single day. I know that you probably didn't have that gym the entire time. You set
Right.
it up, but what were you doing prior to, how are you being able to kind of keep yourself moving and continue to eat right?
Yeah. Well, let's kind of go into the for me, it's putting a emphasis and a focus back onto your why, as to why you started those things in the first place. And honestly, my why is to inspire and motivate people and show them that, hey, if I can do it, you can do it too. But another big reason now is, again, we have this virus that's going around, that it's affecting us. And if our immune system is not built up to where we need it to be,
Yeah.
then we're just, we're making it so, our risk factor goes up significantly. And, this is why I said that during these isolations, it's important to maintain those habits of exercise and nutrition, because if we're allowing our immune system to fall because we're stressed out, we're having this negative mindset, which is affecting our cortisol, which is, dropping our immune system significantly, then we're just, more susceptible to other types of, not just this one, but just overall. So, that's kind of my main focus is, my previous why, to inspire, motivate people, and to help change and save lives through health and fitness. But also now it's like I got to make sure that my immune system is at 100%. I'm taking my vitamins, I'm taking my probiotics, and I'm eating, like I said, I'm a big focus is making sure that I'm eating every few 2 to 4 hours, and I'm getting my exercise in, whether that's I got my gym, or before that just walking my dog Delta for a mile or two, and just doing some push-ups, doing some sit-ups, something that just gets your body moving. And it's important that you find things that you enjoy doing too. So that's kind of, for me, all of this is it's mental. It's not just physical. It's not physical, but you just got to get up and do it, and don't allow yourself to come up with excuses. And one of the biggest excuses that I generally get from clients is, I just don't have the time. Well, now we've got all the time in the world. So
Yeah, we do.
just understand, if you're still not doing things, it's just like, am I just coming up with excuses, or is this a legitimate reason not to take care of my health and fitness? And this should be an eye opener for all of us. It's just like, again, as a country, we were sick before this happened. So now we have an opportunity to really shift our paradigm and put it towards our health and fitness.
You touched on this a second ago about kind of getting outside,
Mhm.
and if you could explain to people, what's the importance, and I absolutely
Mhm.
love being outside. I love sunshine. I love the heat. Anybody who really knows me knows that I love it. And so now we have, like you just said, we have the opportunity to get outside. If we choose to use it, we have that
Mhm.
opportunity, and really, especially the kind of one of the first things I asked you, which is, what are you grateful for today? Gosh, what an opportunity to be grateful for, fresh air outside. So maybe talk to everybody about the
Mhm.
importance of getting up and getting outside,
Yeah.
every single day.
Yeah, I mean, it's extremely important to get outside, and there's a lot of research that helps support that. It helps improve your blood pressure, your heart rate. It's meant to strengthen your immune system. It can also help with you digesting your food, and just an overall healthier you. So it is important that we get out of our dungeons and our houses, maintaining 6 feet, of course, but to get out and go for a walk, and just enjoy nature, and things that we generally just skip in our daily routines when we're driving. It's just like, now you can go out and look at the beauty that's surrounding you, and this would be a good time to fill out your gratitude list. And in a way, this could also be your meditation too. So you can knock two things out at one time. So it is extremely important that we don't just stay secluded inside.
Yeah. Yeah, a great routine, for in the morning, taking that morning walk and getting that fresh air and having no distractions. Maybe you leave your phone in the house and you're able to kind of meditate and just, have your thoughts, and be grateful for the things that, that surround you. Again, whether that's the fresh cut grass, the
Hmm.
sunshine, or maybe it's sprinkling even rain on you. But having the ability to get up every single morning, again, with that air in your lungs. I know that's what I said this to start this off with my gratitude, and the ability to kind of walk outside and go, okay, tough times don't last, tough people do. We're going to get through this as a community, as a country, as a unit. And gosh, what a great way to kind of start your morning, or in definitely middays, like you said.
Hmm.
Vitamin D, man.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully, there's got to be some sunshine coming soon, in in the Pacific Northwest, and
Got a
take
little
it
out there.
take advantage of it, if it does come out there. So um, just to kind of maybe wrap this up a little bit, and then we'll kind of get into some fun questions here at the end. Let's talk just real quick about um, your journaling. I know that you've touched on it a few times, and that's a great
Hmm.
thing to do. But why would you say is the reason why people should write things down?
Hmm.
Why should I? This kind of seems like hocus pocus, Aaron. Write down my feelings and say things I'm grateful for, but what is that really going to do for me in the long term?
Hmm. Well, first of all, I know a lot of people are skeptical about it at first, but ask every single successful person in the entire world, and in some form or another, they journal, they meditate, they do all of these things,
Hmm.
and there's a lot of research to actually back it up. But it does a lot of things. Like I said, it does keep your thoughts organized. If you ink it, you think it. So it's going to make it's going to boost your memory. It's going to allow you to, again, dig into that subconscious mindset and direct, your body where you want it to go. It'll help you, set and achieve goals at
Yes.
nighttime. A lot of times we've got a lot of stuff going through our brains, and one way to, especially if you struggle with stress and anxiety, and you can't go to sleep, well, if you write it all down on your journal, you're essentially kind of like brain dumping all of those anxieties and the things that are weighing you down, and you can write it down. It's right there for you in the morning time, so now you can kind of just forget about it, so that way you can go to sleep and wake up and take care of those issues, because again, circle of influence at nighttime, a lot of those things you can't really do much about it, so that allow you to push that into the future. But it'll help inspire creativity. It's recording your ideas. There's so much that goes into it, and again, it seems like hocus pocus at first, but you got to realize that your life is controlled by your subconscious, and if you're not working on your subconscious, then you're just kind of aimlessly floating in the ocean and allowing it to go wherever the waves are taking you. So
Yeah, what a great point, because I have found myself at night, just staring at the ceiling with a million things going on in my mind and on my brain. And if I don't write it down, if I don't just put it all on paper, I find myself up for hours just
mhm.
thinking about stuff that I can't do anything about in the moment. I can't do anything about it. And I'm just sitting there just thinking about, oh, I better remember to do this. I better remember to do that. Oh, I've got to reach out to this person. Oh, I've got to talk to, and I find when I write it down, it's like you said, it's that dump, it's that release. I get to
Mhm.
release everything for the night and know that honestly, it's probably not going anywhere. And when I wake up, I can pick up the pen and I can pick up my progress and I can pick up where I left off, and I get way better sleep when I'm able to write all that stuff down at night.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, let's end on a few fun questions that I've got for you. What is your favorite video game or Netflix guilty pleasure?
Oh boy. Well, let's see. Video game would probably be Minecraft, surprisingly enough. So I don't play it as much as I used to, but that used to be my go-to. A lot of people think I'd be like a Call of Duty guy, but I've got a creative mindset. So if you've never heard of Minecraft, that's okay. Um, Netflix guilty pleasure. I wouldn't necessarily have I've got a guilty pleasure, but if I were to choose things to watch, I'm kind of big into like war movies. So I just watched 1917, which is a really good movie. You should go check it out. But yeah, this would be my two go-tos.
I am not a big video gamer. Growing up, my brother, and Kyle, if you're watching this, never allowed us to play. He hogged the Nintendo or Nintendo 64 or Sega or whatever we had. We rarely got to play, so I didn't play a whole lot. So if I play now with my fiance, it's Street Fighter only because I can just press a bunch of buttons and I don't I don't really
Smash
know how to do
button
anything
smashing.
else. Oh man, I'm blocking majority of the time, and I'm throwing no punches, and it's just it's a mess. But I'm similar to kind of you as far as maybe Netflix. I love Planet Earth. Anything to where it gets me into nature and I feel like I'm outside. I love those kind of shows. So Planet Earth is my guilty pleasure on Netflix.
Nice.
If you have a cheat meal, what is it?
I don't know if it'd be a cheap meal, but my kind of vice that I've got would be chocolate covered Oreos. So those are, and some of the members know this too, but I talk about it all the time. As long as it's portioned correctly, you can have, those guilty pleasures. So sometimes I'll have one or two chocolate covered Oreos every other day, sometimes every day, but and, I'm not eating the whole thing, but I'd say, not a cheat meal, but a cheat treat would be some Oreos.
Yeah. If I had one, you guys, a a bacon cheeseburger, sweet potato fries, and a milkshake. That is like a full-blown cheat meal for me. Again, I can never finish it. I always think I'm going to. I'm always unfortunately throwing stuff away because it's so full of just not great things for you, and it fills me up so fast. But my eyes are bigger than my stomach when I'm ordering all that stuff. So
Nice.
let's get into some superhero stuff.
Ooh.
Favorite superhero and why?
Favorite superhero, I'd probably go with Captain America. One, because I've gotten that I look like him, so I might as well go with that. But
a very good looking guy.
Thanks, Chancy. Why? More than just the looks, but I kind of like his principles, and his principles are built off of character and integrity, and that's what I like to build my principles off of. So, if I chose one, I'd go with Captain America.
Your reasonings are way better than mine. I picked, that little rocket off Guardian of the Galaxies. That little raccoon.
Yeah.
He is he's just so funny. He's so funny. He's got spunk. He's got attitude. He's small. He takes no crap from nobody. And he is just, I think he's more fire first and ask questions later. But I just, for pure entertainment levels, I mean, I really like that little furry guy.
Yeah, I'd agree with that one for you. That'd be a good one.
Let's talk about your bucket list. What is something on your bucket list?
Bucket list would be actually, I've been working on this for a while, but I've been procrastinating on it. But I want to be able to produce a song. So, now is a good time to start working on that. So, I'm really big into, DJing and making mixes. Now I want to actually apply musical theory and get some digital, audio workstations and make a song. So that's what's on my bucket list.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Aaron is a phenomenal DJ. He plays his music for boot camp every Saturday at 10 o'clock here in the Southeast Portland location. And he's got it on SoundCloud as well, DJ No Name. Mm-hmm. It is awesome. He's got, 30 to 40 minutes worth of music, and it's great to work out to. My bucket list is a World Cup soccer game in Europe. I would love to, and that atmosphere, I can't imagine how crazy it would be in Europe to watch a soccer game over there in the World Cup. So that's on my list.
That'd be awesome.
You guys, again, thank you so much for joining Aaron and I for coffee conversations. We really appreciate you guys. We hope you're healthy. We hope you're happy. We hope you're staying safe and 6 feet apart. But more importantly, I can speak for Aaron on this. We miss you. Mm-hmm. We miss you guys so much, and we cannot wait to get back into the gym with you guys and working out and back into the community that we know and love. So thank you guys again. One more time, Aaron, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a great rest of your day. We will talk to you soon. All right, everybody. Have a good one. Thank you.
Peace out.